Well, Logan, it's been a stormy, dramatic, emotional last few weeks, astrologically speaking, and I gotta tell you, we can expect some of that to continue throughout this week. So, folks, today is Monday, December 8th, and earlier today, the planet Mars perfected a square with the planet Saturn. Mars sitting at 25 degrees of Sagittarius, and Saturn over here at 25 degrees of Pisces. These are both mutable signs. We're talking messy, chaotic energies, bringing our frictions and frustrations to a peak. We might be feeling blocked in our energies, restricted in our actions. Maybe we're making challenging decisions or stressful sacrifices, but try not to feel too hopeless or despairing, folks, because this storm will pass. Now, on the morning of Wednesday, December 10th, we have Neptune ending its retrograde and stationing direct here at 29 degrees of Pisces. Neptune retrogrades are long, they're not big deals to pay attention to, but these stations are noteworthy, folks, because that's when we get a big hit of Neptunian energy. So Wednesday morning, pay attention to your dreams, your intuition, spiritual connection, compassion, and empathy, and watch out for those foggy Neptunian illusions and delusions that, they could get you. Later here on Wednesday, we have Mercury sitting at 28 degrees of Scorpio in opposition to Uranus, which is retrograde at 28 degrees of Taurus. Now, folks, if you're getting deja vu, there's a reason for that. This is our third time around with this particular aspect that Mercury already made twice with Uranus in its recent retrograde. So this is our last go round with this one, having Mercury opposite Uranus, which can bring us shocking news or surprising information and revelations, shaking up our nervous systems, testing the limits of our stubbornness with the fixed signs of Taurus and Scorpio, but hopefully helping us to become more aligned with our authentic selves and revolutionary values in the process. Now, early on Thursday morning, December 11th, Mercury will be bringing us some more pleasant news, sitting now at 29 degrees of Scorpio in a lovely water trine with Neptune still there at 29 degrees of Pisces. Grab your tarot cards and your pendulums for this one, folks. We're talking about receiving messages from the universe, a flow of spiritual and creative insights, perceiving beyond the limits of ordinary reality, so hopefully you'll find out something interesting on this day. Finally, on Thursday, Mercury will be leaving Scorpio for the sign of Sagittarius, and for anybody who cares about traditional astrology, Mercury in Sagittarius, this is the sign of its exile. So this might be a more challenging time for the messenger of the gods, but still, with Mercury and Sag, we're talking about adventure, gaining wisdom from experience, breaking out of your stagnant thought patterns and routines. But just watch your tongue as the planet of communication enters a sign that is known to be rather blunt and impulsive and quite frankly insensitive. So, just think before you speak. Try not to hurt too many feelings when Mercury goes into Sagittarius. Then on Saturday morning, December 13th, Mercury will be sitting at 2 degrees of Sagittarius, forming a stimulating sextile with Pluto over here at 2 degrees of Aquarius. This deepens our thinking, folks, drawing us down into that Plutonian shadow work, stimulating our ability to face challenging truths, and bringing some of that forward-thinking, revolutionary Aquarian energy into our weekends. Beautiful. However, Sunday, December 14th is a doozy of a day. Mars will be bringing us some more friction, starting off the day with a square to Neptune. Mars at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, and Neptune, you guessed it, still there at 29 degrees of frickin' Pisces. So we can expect a bit of fogginess, lack of clarity, frustrating slowdowns, conflict around delusions, or even a crisis of faith or two. So good luck with that. Thankfully, though, the sun will be forming a nice fire trine with Chiron, the sun at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, Chiron over here at 22 degrees of Aries on the same day. So this can bring a flow of warm, soothing healing to any core wounds that might be getting activated and probably will be by these other tougher transits. Finally, on Sunday, Mars will be entering the sign of Capricorn, leaving Sagittarius. That is late Sunday night here on the West Coast where I'm reporting from. So for anybody in time zones further east, you're actually looking at Monday morning for Mars moving into Capricorn. But this will bring some structure and strategy to the planet of action and courage. So you want to be bold, go for what you want. contribute to your community, act upon your legacy with integrity, please. But just make sure that you're finding a way to express your righteous rage rather than bottling it up, because let's be honest, Mars and Capricorn, that's not going to be a pretty explosion once it happens. Now, telling you about what the moon is doing this week. It's waning, starting out in expressive Leo today. It'll be moving into analytical Virgo late on Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning for time zones farther east than the West Coast here. We will see a waning half moon in Virgo on Thursday before the moon moves into relational Libra on Friday morning. And then finally, it'll enter secretive Scorpio here on Sunday night. And remember, folks, it's Sagittarius season, so I hope you're being as generous as you can, exploring, trying new things, expanding your worldview, and what the hell, even though the world's on fire, I hope you're managing to have at least a little bit of fun along the way. That's it for the Astrological Weather Report this week. I'm Alice Pope. Logan, back to you.